It's a pretty nice day, although not very warm here. A little bit warm. So it's official. We are living through, witnessing, and a part of the Bob Joyce experiment, which is tied hand in hand with Elvis Presley. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. Some of you maybe need a little explanation, and that's okay. I feel like I'm living through 2020 and 2021 all over again. In the last 4 years, 8 years, I don't know, however many years you want to go back, right? Because there's a big difference, and actually, this stream right here is an experiment too, and so far, very successful, I might add. I'll get to that later. There's a big difference between using your own intuition and discernment and coming. Okay, as soon as I said it was successful. Hey, Scott, can you hear me now? That's what I get for saying it was successful. It seems like I'm always having mic issues. Is it a conspiracy? Or is it just my mics? I don't know. But anyway, can you guys hear me? I'm going to keep going. This is a good one. I think you guys are going to enjoy this, and I'm going to try to get right to it for those of you who have things to do. Boom mic is better. Yeah, I might have to switch back. I think I figured out what was wrong with that. Well, there's nothing wrong with the mic, I think. It was just I have to plug it right back in, or maybe a couple times when I start the live. Can you hear me okay? Or should I come back? If you guys can't hear me okay, I will just be right back in a few. Hey, Angelita. Sipping a little tea. Renita, hello. Dragonfly17, good name. Hello. Can barely hear me. That is so weird. So weird. Okay, is that any better? I just turned off the mic. I don't know. I don't know why it's so bad. It's like random, working or not working. Okay, you know what? I don't want to end this because once I do my own little experiment that I just told you about without explaining, could go terrible after that. So I'm literally going to grab my better mic right now. So bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Do what you gotta do. We are in the studio now, and I'm looking. Give me just a minute. I'll be back. I'm here. I'm here. Switching to the headset because apparently it's the only thing that really works well on a somewhat consistent basis. Come on, microphone. Come on, little microphone. Oh. Let's see here. Are we back? I need to know if you guys can hear me loud and clear yet. Say, I can hear you great. Oh, NA. Is that good? Are we good? Are we happy now? Is it loud enough for you? Can you handle that? Okay. Well, welcome back, everybody. It appears we're back to the headset microphone. Yeah, it's weird. I was using the AirPods the last few days, and it wasn't as loud, but I thought it was okay. But it's just like, man, these microphones and their constant problems. So give me a hot second to resume my happy outdoor location for this live. Okay. See, I'm working for you. I'm working hard because this one I felt was important today. So, the Bob Joyce experiment. What do I mean by that? Well, like I said, the last few lives, I've really noticed a big uptick in AI comments, and I'm sure probably just normal everyday people comments that are against the theory or straight up calling Bob a scammer and all this stuff, which I've seen 0% of anything to prove that. Okay, so since I've started doing the videos, I want to say October? I lost track, but it's been about the last 3 months, give or take, since I really dove in headfirst to just sharing everything I was seeing because I was really blown away by it uh, over this year. And I thought I'd just have some fun with it, right? And see what everybody else thought, see what else I might find. And round we go for the last 3 months. So why all of a sudden these last couple weeks, it's like, boom, I'm getting emails, I'm getting different apps, I'm getting messages and different things. And it's just kind of hilarious because that doesn't just happen, you know, it doesn't happen on its own. And it's not just pointed at me. I mean, sure, some of it is because it's my channel with my name on it, but it's directed at the belief and the theory and Bob himself. And that's not right. And I've always said from the beginning that nobody should be pressing Pastor Bob to do anything because whether he's Elvis or not, there's no good excuse or reason for that, right? But all of the what I'd like to call hangry responses have been from the non-believing side, which I've never tried to say anything not nice about the ones who don't believe. You can believe whatever you want. I'm totally good with it. I really am. But it's the way that they talk to people. Honestly, I think it's mostly bots. I really do. But not all of them. And we'll never know what percentage it is. But, and by the way, I did just contact 𝐠𝐚𝐯 again this morning and hopefully getting a quick response back like I did before. I'm not expecting too much, but he did throw me a bone back in October, which helped me at the time. So that's all I'm kind of hoping for. Just because I want to serve all of you the best, whether it's through music or through something I'm teaching or, yes, the Bob Joyce theory, but anything. And I'm always just being authentic with you guys. I don't know it all. And I've seen a lot, I've dug in a lot, but I'm still here saying I'll leave that door open, maybe less than 1%, that it might not be Pastor Bob Joyce. I think it is, but I'll leave that door open. For me personally, that's how I sort of, I don't know, am okay with whatever comes in the future. But what I want to get at, sorry, this took longer because of the mic issue at first, but what I see as this sort of new experiment, which is the Bob Joyce experiment / Elvis Presley, is, like I said, it feels like 2020, 2021 all over again, where I'm doing my best to just follow my intuition, gut instincts, discernment, and not just repeat something that somebody said, whether it agrees with my bias or is against it. And I know I've been really good about that because I have very few regrets from the past 8 years and everything that we've been uh, watching play out and being told the opposite so many times. I feel really great about it. And I could make a list of 50 points about things that I feel great about, but there's no point in doing that. And any of us doing that. It's really all about the end goal and where we want to be personally in 5 or 10 years from now, or yeah, our loved ones or all that stuff, right? But the experiment now, I see this as a new experiment. We're watching this play out. We're getting just the crazy feedback, if you want to call it that. And we're having to deal with that. And I'm at the point now, it doesn't really give me any stress. It kind of gets me excited. Like, yeah, like we're on the right track. That's how I'm reacting to it now. And so I'm laughing, I'm having fun. It's giving me a reason today to stream and talk to you all, where I wasn't even planning on it. So I do have a theory on this theory, which is I think this conversation, like many others, is being allowed and reinforced to happen, so that we can all, once again, question our belief systems about world history, different things, and ask the questions, get put in those difficult positions, whether it's replying to somebody or deciding whether or not we should. And it's part of a plan. So that's my theory on the theory of why this is just happening now. Why now? Why not 2 years ago, 20 years ago? I mean, Elvis supposedly died in 1977, and yes, there's always been theories, but we've had the internet for quite a while too. Why is this just, all culminating at the end of 24? So there's a lot more questions, maybe, than answers. There is, but it's kind of getting me excited because I know we're on the right track as far as the big picture. And why do I feel so good about that? Because we, quote unquote, those who have been doing their best to really search in an unbiased manner, we're all biased, right? But I'm talking about those who have taken such a hard inner look at themselves these past 8 years that even when we believed something was right or true, correct, mostly correct, we still questioned it ourselves. It's a hard thing to do. It takes a lot of time, self-confidence, self-esteem to walk that line, but it's worth it. And why is it worth it? Because, like I said, I have very few regrets from the last 8 years. I've been a Trump supporter since I heard he was running. I always had good feelings and good hopes and good things I saw coming. Zero regrets. He's just one example of many. But so, like I said, it feels like and this isn't the first time I've said something like this the past 4 years. It's happened a few times. But this Bob and Elvis thing, it once again, on a different topic, it feels like, and you know what I'm talking about, 2020 all over again, because I really feel like I need to stand on this, I don't know what you want to call it, stage, or not pedestal, but on a hill, and just share what I'm getting when I'm discerning and intuitively trusting. I mean, which is really, truth comes from God and lies come from the enemy. So, and it can be confusing sometimes because the enemy's got skills too. But like I said, it's getting kind of entertaining once again now, because I really feel like these this pressing in against us is just reminding me that once again we're on the right track, because I know you can't feel good about the last 8 years, about the decisions and the positions you made, and have had everything go wrong. Does that make sense? It's been like, honestly, and I'm not trying to brag, this is on behalf of all of us that have done a pretty good job the last 8 years of delving through the dirt. It's a good job on all of us for digging deep and doing our best in one of the most complex the most complex informational times in the world. And we've done a really good job. So I'm only going to dig in harder. And I mean, I'm not really digging into much. I'm just like, I'm doing what I've always done. If I find new videos, pictures, I'm going to share it with you all. And I'm still waiting for all those photos people talk about that of the younger Bob looking just like him and all that stuff. I'm not seeing anything. And I don't know. It just seems like a lot of AI assisted little small books that we're seeing in the comments and the stuff. And that's not a conversation. If you're going to comment, if you want to be part of the conversation, that's great. Just say a line or two, put your 2 cents out there, say it politely, and then wait for the response and let them respond. Make sure you check for a response and then write back. And the best advice I can give you is to just end it nicely. Don't get irritated. Don't let it get to you, because it will if you go a little crazy on it. So don't do that. And I mean, it took me a long time to learn that lesson, but I did pretty well for the most part. There's always that 1% chance on a wrong day I could say the wrong thing, but it does take practice. And if you don't think you can handle entering the conversation, then just don't, because it's probably not worth dealing with it. Okay, let me see. A couple comments here. NANA, thank you. So yeah, the headset mic is back because it's the only mic I got that seems to be crystal clear. Didn't Bob go to Mar-a-Lago with 𝐠𝐤𝐻? I don't know if he went with 𝐠𝐤𝐻, but absolutely April of this year, he was at Mar-a-Lago. He gave a short prayer, really great short prayer. And of course, he didn't just go there for a 1-minute prayer on stage. He probably met with President Trump, who knows who else, maybe had even some kind of meeting, but yeah, that's something you can kind of assume that there was more to his visit than just a 1-minute prayer. He is entitled to a good life like the rest of us. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no reason for anybody to be saying that he should do anything, take any tests, even say anything. Because if he is Elvis, he went into witness protection. Okay. And that doesn't just end because you decide to. There has to be something officially that ends it. If he's not Elvis, he is not saying that he is. In fact, if you're taking that position, you're also the kind of person sharing the video saying he denied it. So you can't have it both ways, right? So I see so many holes every week in the opposing viewpoint of Bob. And on the supporting side, I see either maybe some bad videos along the way, sure, but for the most part, just stuff that is confirming what I've seen or intuitively thought before. Like I said, I'll leave the door open for anything, but I'm just going to keep following where everything goes. So it has been entertaining. Dragonfly 17 says, I live in Michigan. My sister took me to see Elvis at the Silver Dome in Michigan. When they said he died, she was a mess. I remember her talking about him still being alive. He was spotted in Michigan. I know there's been claims about that. Why don't you pop into Bob's church and kind of judge firsthand? I would love to, but I'm in California and he's in Arkansas. And so I don't know, should I do a fundraiser for a plane ticket and a hotel Saturday, Sunday weekend trip? It hasn't been something I wanted to commit to. Actually, it's been a pretty crazy last couple months. So I didn't feel like I needed to make the decision right now. If it was closer, I would be there already, probably several times as a matter of fact, but at least once I would have visited and, let my intuitive observational skills go to work, and I'm sure I would have plenty to share. And that would be really interesting too, because I would really like to have that firsthand account. And I know I would get something out of it. I'm pretty sure I would still feel the same way, but you don't know until it's actually you there. We've had plenty of people giving their firsthand accounts of the visit. And what are the things everybody says? Yes, he looks like he could be 89. He looks like, if anything, older in person. And I don't know why that would be. Maybe just because they see him up close, right? You can kind of see like the shape of the body and I don't know, more flaws versus the videos are usually he's kind of far away and, dressed nice, and you just don't get all those details. So that's one thing that everybody seems to say. And everybody also seems to say that they're just more convinced than ever that it's Elvis once they go in person. And let's see, I don't know, is there anything else? What are the common, see, and those are the things I look for. What are the common things that people say, and is there a backing to it? Does it make sense? Trying to get to you, 68 comeback. Did you notice anything has changed? Let's see. I'm gonna have to check that out. Like I said before, I really never followed Elvis' career until all of this came up the last few years with Bob Joyce, that I started looking into it more and sharing videos. And then, of course, I started seeing all these Elvis performances. But usually when I see him, I don't know which concert or special it was by name. I'm just like, oh, yeah, it's that song. Or it's a vocal comparison, right? So that's what I'm paying attention to. But I'm sure I'll keep learning more about Elvis' career the longer this goes on. Sasha, greetings. Welcome back. Lori, I've been twice. Lori says, I've been there twice and talked to him both times. The piano is from Graceland. That would be interesting. And I live 40 minutes from his church. People from all over the world come to see him. Yeah, we know that. I mean, and I don't necessarily see that as being a confirming thing that people come from all over, because, even if it wasn't true, but it was all over the internet, you're going to have people coming from all over the world. However, it is interesting, and that piano is interesting. I'm not sure if I heard that before or not. But the guitar, I think the main guitar he uses looks just like, oh geez, I forgot what brand it was right now, but it looks the same. It's got like the same, what's that called? The pick. Jeez, I can't even remember what's called. But on the body of the guitar, it has the same design. So, one of the many things, it could be nothing, or it could be something. If he is in witness protection, he cannot say he is Elvis. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. What else we got going on here? I go with the idea he's still on witness protection. Yep, that makes sense to me. Hello, Love Songs. He was with Charlie Ward at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, right. I saw that picture, and I'm sure it's in at least a few of the videos here on our channel playlist. So, yep, he was with, at least some of that time, or at one time, with Charlie Ward. It's him, but his voice has definitely aged and changed, no doubt. This is very common, especially if you put thousands of hours on your voice over many years. From Nitro Glower said that. Yeah, and that's a point I've made too, as far as those who say that it's not the same voice. I strongly disagree. And when you get older, especially up there, 70s, 80s, yeah, you lose a lot of the control. It's just a muscle. And just like I learned from times where I wasn't singing for a while, even being younger, and it would take me about 2 months if it was like a big show and I wanted to have a good strong voice for, let's say, the whole hour, because that's typically what it was we would do in the Marine Corps if we had uh, rock shows or whatever, because we do that kind of stuff. For those of you who don't know, I learned through trial and error that I would need, well, let's say a month and a half of solid rehearsals, singing pretty much every day, unless I needed rest, to strengthen my voice to be able to just belt it out and not lose my voice and not lose control. So that's true no matter what your age is. But then when you add in age into that equation, it's just like how as you get older, it's harder to build muscle or keep muscle, right? You need to improve your diet more and just really do a good job of diet and exercise if you want to be in good shape, basically. So it's the same with the voice. It's just a muscle that has to be trained. It's more difficult in older age, but the vibrato is the same. The tone is the same. When Pastor Bob does nail some of the licks and songs, which he still does, I mean, it's so on par. He's all over it. As a professional gospel singer, not just some random pastor in Arkansas, but he really nails it. And when you're older, honestly, that's probably about as good as you're going to get, unless you have some major miracle surgery that just got invented to keep your vocal cords going into your hundreds, right? It just doesn't happen. So you take any professional, amazing singer and listen to them when they got in their 80s, and they're going to be doing the same kinds of things, losing their pitch, intonation, control. I mean, they still do pretty good most of the time if they've been around a long time and didn't get into the drug life. We'll let that finish them off. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. His veins in his hands are the same, even the cross. Please check this out. Yep, I've seen that. Lori Leaks, hello again. 𝐠𝐴𝐵, Trump photographer and owner of George Magazine, goes to his church every week and has written a lot about Bob. Yep. And he did that interview with him. When was that? That was like September? I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. We posted that interview too, where 𝐸ₐ interviewed Pastor Bob at his church. Miss Constitutional Rights, you're back. Can't believe you're still trying to figure it out. Don't forget who you are, hun. Have a great day, everyone. I'm really not trying to figure it out. Like I said, I feel great about most things the last 8 years. And when I get the pushback, it makes me want to just say it even louder, honestly, because I'm just kind of a rebel at heart. But it's usually a rebel for good reasons. It hasn't always been, but I've learned a lot of those mistakes over the years. So I'm just having fun. And for those of you who follow my streams on a regular basis, you know that I'm not always talking the entire time about Pastor Bob and Elvis. And I don't believe it's something we should be tunnel visioned about. We should be focusing on the things that Pastor Bob talks about in his sermons, right? And staying focused on where God is leading us. However, with all the things that I've noticed lately and how entertaining this has gotten, just spur of the moment, last minute, I wanted to make this video and kind of just let you all know and state it publicly that we are living through another experiment right now with this Pastor Bob, and just seeing how everybody reacts to it, and just watching more and more people are just finding out about it, and they're like, wow, I can't believe this. You know, what did you feel like when you first, I don't know, saw your first 24 videos and you're like, oh gosh, is this happening? Is this really happening? And I felt that way, and I wasn't even an Elvis fan, right? But it's just, like I said, this whole thing is a great conversation starter, and it can lead us to talk about all these other topics if we want to, because it's just another topic. It's just another experiment. But this one, I feel like, is, I don't know, it's just really ramping up here in these last few months. Maybe that's partly just me, because I personally just really dove into it in 2024, but I don't think so. If I have my pulse on kind of everything that's been on the web and social media, it's really taken off this year. And I think it's interesting and exciting. So it will keep us talking about different things. So it's constitutional rights. That was a very long answer. But it's a tricky one. There's a lot to it, many sides to it. And there is a method to my madness that some of you get, some of you half get it, some of you don't get it, and that's okay. So you're all welcome to keep listening, staying tuned to the channel, and subscribing, following, and yeah, all that, or don't. So yeah, and I always forget, I don't even ask anybody to subscribe or like, but I know that's what I'm supposed to do as a content creator. I'm supposed to say, smash that like button and, you know, hit the subscribe and turn on the bell and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. you guys make up your own minds. Sometimes I feel like I'm just entertaining myself, and sometimes it feels like today where it's like I want to log this day, this moment, because I have gone back to some videos over the last, I guess, just in the last 3 years. I started going back to some videos or text posts that I made because I wanted to see what I actually said at that time. And sure enough, it wasn't 100% all exactly, you know, predicted, but it was close, or it was close enough that I was like, yeah, win one for the home team. And so that's what I'm saying. If you keep having a good track record with your intuition, then it should make you excited, because that means you're just really good at reading the tea leaves and then making personal decisions about that in the future, or decisions that will help other people, which is really what I want. Um, that's always what I've wanted, is to do the things I do, to help others in some way. And that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, like I'm saying though, everybody can make up their own mind. I'm having fun with it. I'm not stressed. I may put out a crazy post from time to time because I'm either laughing or just want to share what I'm currently seeing with everything. But yeah, I mean, anybody that thinks that I'm like obsessed with this whole thing really doesn't know me at all, because at any given time, I'm working on like 4 or 5 different projects, just because I always have some new idea that came into my head, and oh, I got to do that. I got to work on that. I got to learn more about that. So I don't have time to be obsessed with Bob. And I don't encourage anybody to, whether it's Bob or Elvis or both. So that's not what this is all about, is to just focus on Bob. And, what if, and is it true? It's fun, it's entertainment. Hey, this guy, I don't watch any TV. How much percent? 0%. If I need to relax and pull myself away from work because that's what it is, or just normal life stuff, I'll watch a movie. Most of the time, I don't even watch half of it, or it'll take me a couple different days to finish it, because it's like late and I want to sleep anyway, right? So it's okay to have a little entertainment. It's also research, and um, we're just trying to get to the bottom of lots of topics these last 8 years, right? So, hey, John Paul Cunningham, you appreciate the channel. Thank you very much for that. Merry Christmas. I'm always glad to hear that any of you are experiencing something good from what's coming out of here, because out of this channel, that is, because that's my main prerogative. And so I'm having fun with it. Hope you all will too. Let's see, who else? Love Songs says, bottom teeth identical. I noticed a lot of that. All of his teeth except the front 2 are identical. However, Elvis was wearing caps on his front 2 teeth. One was chipped and one of Bob's is chipped. Yeah, when I saw the teeth comparison, that was like a wow moment. Because obviously the dental records matches, that's like fingerprints too, right? His wife is Elvis' first true love. Yeah, that's another big one. The other day, Gene Host said, Wilena, Bob's wife, is Elvis' ex. Did he really? I want to get back more to the Gene Ho videos and sharing them, but The problem is the time factor. And see, that's one of the projects I'm working on, is finding the fastest ways that I can get out videos, because they either need to make a reaction video or a special edited thing to make it more original. I can't just post everything. Otherwise, I'm going to run into issues in this community, if you know what I mean. So, where was I going with that? I don't know, but just sharing what's been happening in a nutshell. John says, has Bob ever reacted to anything you've posted or inquired about? Big no on that. That is a no. It's hard to know what is real or not real on the internet. The physical features like broken finger, scars, teeth seem compelling. Yeah, I mean, we can just go into the physical features, and that's a lot. We haven't even talked about the musical side or the people that have visited, he's taken pictures with, so it's a lot. It really is a lot. And somebody's not going to send me a few pictures that are questionable, and it's going to shatter everything I've seen and heard at this point. So, okay, that feels a little better. I can't believe this has been 40 minutes already, although the first almost 10 minutes was me fixing my microphone. So I guess it's a fairly normal 30 minutes. So thank you all for joining me. Cassie is like, is this all we're doing? We're just hanging out here. We're not going anywhere. She's always ready for the next run walk. So, yeah. And so to wrap this up, me personally, I think one of my greatest strengths of the last 8 years, besides the intuition, discernment, maybe one of my greatest strengths has been I'm constantly double checking my biases and not trusting my biases, to just get a little bit more truth out of what I already know. And it's not perfect, but that's one of the things, like I said, I've been the happiest about, because uh, really the only thing I have a regret about is the same thing that pretty much all of us maybe wish we could have taken it differently. And that is, we really didn't expect Joe Biden to take office in 2021. We didn't think that was going to happen. However, at the same time, we look back in hindsight and we see it had to be that way. It had to. Because look at what happened these last 4 years after that. It was all part of a plan. Whether you say it's the good guy's plan or God's plan, it had to be that way. And so, feeling really great about things. I think we're about 25 days out now from Inauguration Day, assuming that happens on that day as it normally does, which I do think it will. There's already plenty of people now saying that it's going to be before that, and I can't go into all the details, but I'm not saying that's impossible by any means. But with the way things have played out, we have been, from those who are in agreement with us, we've been hammered the last 4 years by all these predictions and dates that never happened, or just events that were just made to sound like things were going to be so much bigger, and they weren't. So that's one of the lessons I learned too over the last 4 years, is how do we make sure we're not reacting to things, but we're taking it in, we let it mellow a little bit, and then we use all these things we've learned and then spit out a correct response or reaction to run with. So I'm just planning on January 20th being one of the best speeches yet that we've heard, and a great day for us, capital Us, and more interesting things to come. And it probably will be an interesting January before that, no doubt. There's no way it's just going to be smooth sailing and everybody's getting along, right? And I even took kind of a break from the news stuff the last week, because just like at the point we're at now and everything the last 8 years, it's just like, okay, just waiting to see what happens, right? Big things are always in the process. Yeah, John, you're welcome. Sorry for the late response. Major separation of God's truth versus man's truth. Hopefully the blinders are off now. Many deceived. Yeah, it's really bad in the church collectively. Even, and I'm as guilty as anybody for my own reasons, but we got so comfortable in America and many countries where we just go to church on Sunday, or, oh, we're part of a ministry, we're like a better than average Christian, right? And we're doing good. But a lot of the times, like, we're just serving people within those walls or doing a couple little things for the community. Is that really enough? And I took a long, hard look at myself on things like that since, well, 2020 and before. And that was because of changes that happened in my own church that I did not agree with, and other things I won't get into. And so many of us have had those experiences as well with just our own church. But yeah, we just got so comfy and farther away from what the Bible actually teaches us and what we should be doing with our money. And again, it's like another lie of the enemy of, what is it, the 10% tithe that we've heard 1,017 times. By the way, I like how there's 17 people watching right now and 17 thumbs up. That's cool. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Is that biblical? My apologies. Maybe it's biblical. If it's biblical, then forget everything I just said. But where I'm going with that is, in general, there's so many sayings and things that we've gotten comfy with to just be like the normal standard for the Christian life, modern Christian life. So there's really no push for us to do anything above that, beyond that. Like, go feed some homeless people, like actually put yourself out there, not in harm's way, but put yourself out there, take a risk, do something for somebody that you wouldn't normally do, instead of just, dress up nice for church, get in the car, drive to the church, do your little ministry, maybe a whole 2 days a week, a couple hours a week, we do our thing. And like, we check the box, right? Like, oh, now we've earned Jesus paying the sacrifice for our sins. It's so weak. And unfortunately, it was people like me, like us, who were having to call out pastors for being just, frankly, just cowards and comfy cowards. And I've said that before, but I don't know if I've ever said it here, but I saw it too many times to not just say it how it is. And I was never rude to any of them. I always try to be professional to my own previous pastor and anybody else that I was debating with. But yeah, we've really, for many of us, our eyes have been really opened a lot over this time, and it just really needed to happen. So ultimately it was God's plan, and then people are just helping God do his plans like usual. Cynthia, hello, from Michigan also. Nice. And Irma, hello. Yeah, it's an early, very early night shift. So early that I'm going to call it day shift. So I don't know if I'll do night shift or not. I might. You guys, those who know me know that I'm typically pretty random because, like I said, I'm always working on whatever the current project is, and I don't do so well with the scheduled lives. Sasha, your thoughts about this interview between Gene and Bob Elvis? Yeah, so we have that interview divided into 3 parts. So you can search, geez, what would you search for? I mean, you could just search 𝐠𝐤𝐻, Bob Joyce, interview, and my name, and you should see all 3 parts pop up. As far as my thoughts go, I really didn't feel like there was that much to take out of the interview as far as the theory goes, besides he said something like, what did he say? Pastor Bob said there were 38 million hits in Japan, meaning like views of his album. And that was kind of interesting because how can that be if he's not Elvis? If he's just some small town pastor from Arkansas who put out an album, what kind of marketing genius put that together, right? However, we know that Elvis had many millions of views of his, what performance was that? So was that a little hint? Was that a little breadcrumb thrown out to us? I'm going to take it that way just because, it's just like one more thing. But me personally, I didn't think there was that much in the interview. I mean, it was just kind of like a get to know Pastor Bob interview, right? That was really the main goal of the interview, and that was successful. Irma, I'm glad I made you laugh with the picture. Yeah, so I'm wrapping this up here in a minute, and you can check out my post on YouTube on the channel a little bit ago. I just put up a funny picture, and I was like really laughing this morning from all the comments that I was responding to and seeing, and some of the non-polite ones as well, and some of the comments that just seemed like copy paste or AI stuff. I was just laughing because none of it amounted to anything. But I would respond, and if I thought somebody was human, I would see if the conversation would maybe go anywhere useful. But I was laughing pretty hard before I took that picture, and then decided to do what I did and say what I said. It is pretty nice here, Irma. It's cold though. I mean, it looks warm, but I'm like shaking right now because the wind is blowing and it's a really cold wind. Plaid cocoa. Did I say that right? How you doing? Are you going to make a video about Bob saying taking care of business on December 8th, 2024? Oh man, I need that. December 8th, huh? I'm going to have to check that out. You should be a comedian. Yeah, once in a great while, I can be a comedian. Oh, John with a super chat. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate you as well. And I'm glad that, like I said, anything could be helpful or just enjoyable through these crazy times that we're going through. I really appreciate that. Plaid Cocoa, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. That's an interesting timestamp as well in the sermon. Okay. 7 minutes, 47 seconds. Wait, can I screenshot right now? That's a good one. I need to save that. Okay, I'm going back to your earlier comment. Where is that? Okay, December 8th. I'm saving that one. And I'm saving your timestamp as well. 7 minutes 47. I'm going to check that out as soon as we get done. That's a good one. Maybe I could make that as part of the CB updates, which I haven't done in a while. I should probably do one sometime soon, but those were fun. Always fun to make and make sure I'm up to date on things too. Hi, Brenda. You live in Detroit, Michigan. Just turned you on. I'm new here. Awesome. Well, welcome. I grew up in Ohio, so we're like neighbors. Or, well, we used to be. I'm in California, um, San Diego, essentially. But like I said, it's kind of cold here for 3:16 in the afternoon today. But it looks nice, and otherwise, it's a nice day. I'm just not dressed for what it feels like right now. And my dog Cassie is chilling right there, as you can see. Plaid Coco says he said it another time too, but I can't remember when later in the same sermon. Huh. That's funny because I never caught that. And of course, I don't watch 100% of every sermon either, so I miss stuff. And so thanks for the heads up. I will check that out. Brenda, thank you. Merry Christmas. It's 39 here. Okay, you definitely win the cold battle. It's colder there than it is here, for sure. It's just we have the thin air here, you know. I mean, this is basically the desert, so it just goes right through you. And of course, I'm not usually dressed for it because I don't plan to be outside for long, and then I end up doing like an hour live like I am right now. But it's really not that bad. I'm just complaining because my hands are getting cold. Alice, welcome and hello. I'm going to check the sermon. Awesome. Yep, Plaid Coco, you've got us thinking and looking. So thanks for sharing that. I'm going to share here, or I'm going to go check it out in a few minutes. Beautiful dog. I love them. Always had pit bulls. When I was in high school, I was a veterinary assistant, which I did a total of about 4 years, including after school or after high school. And I loved it. I was, in hindsight, I was really blessed to have such an awesome job at a young age and to work with the vets and animals because I always trained dogs too when I was little. That was like one of my little hobbies besides music. And so, yeah, I love the job. I love doggies. Cats are okay. I don't dislike them, but definitely more of a dog person. Alice says, TTFN. I hope that's a nice thing. I don't remember what that means. Maybe you can remind me if it's nice. Anytime. Wow, awesome. I love cute, sweet doggies too. Well, I knew that about you, Irma, because you're always complimenting Cassie. Cassie gets lots of compliments, that's for sure. Because she, as the German Shepherd that she is, she has that wide variety of brown or black to white. So she looks pretty nice. She does need a bath and some grooming. Maybe once it gets a little bit warmer again. Okay, John, thanks for supporting, and I'm glad you're here. And yeah, we'll be enjoying the show. So thank you very much. Thanks for the love, Irma. Okay, so for real, the clock is ticking. It's about an hour now. Probably one of the longest lives I've done yet, but there were some important things in there I wanted to share. So thank you all, as always, for supporting, and especially John Paul Cunningham. Really appreciate you with the super chat gift. And as always, it will go right back into music and everything I'm doing to try to keep inspiring you guys and updated with everything. I am trying to get some more info from, like I said, 𝐸𝐏, and I don't know. I still to this day I have second thoughts about trying to contact Pastor Bob because I really don't want to be intrusive. But we'll see. If something comes to mind and I decide to do it, maybe I'll make a phone call. I did send an email. Didn't get anything back, but I can only imagine the number of emails that the church is getting. So the way to go would be a phone call, obviously. But what am I going to say when that phone picks up? I want to make sure it's professional, polite, and not asking stupid questions, or, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, I'll know if it's the right time to take that step, because I'll know what I need to say and how to say it, to be authentic and just be crystal clear that it's coming from a right heart, something that God wants me to do, basically. So I'm not going to say whether or not I'm doing the live stream tonight because you know how random I am. If I do, normally it's somewhere around 6 p.m. my time. So that's 6 p.m. California, 9 p.m. East Coast. But yeah, you're just going to have to keep a lookout if you don't want to miss them because they just kind of happen whenever. So yeah, I'm kind of getting back to normal. So I want to do some singing and musical lives too and change things up. But there's been a lot going on in the last couple months, so bear with me to get back into all that kind of stuff. So, yep, keep watching. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. This is my new world record of live, 62 minutes and 35 seconds. So, thank you all. I appreciate you all. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Me and Cassie says bye for now.